You're gonna make it. Not maybe, not someday. You are going to make it now. Listen, this pain, it won't stay. It cuts deep, but it won't stay. And when it breaks, when it fades, you'll stand there knowing you didn't fold under weight. You've come too far to quit here. Too many nights you survived in silence. Too many wounds you hid in the dark. You don't drop your sword now. Not here, not now. No. God didn't build you to fall mid-battle. He shaped you in fire, in pressure, in moments that almost broke you but didn't. You carry purpose, even when you feel empty. You breathe for a reason, even when it feels heavy. So hear this. Leaving doesn't end pain, it spreads it. It echoes, it lingers in places you'll never be there to fix. And that weight, it doesn't disappear. It just changes shoulders. But God, He never told you to carry this alone. He's there in the silence, in the shaking hands, in the breath you struggle to take. He sees it, all of it. The tears you hide, the thoughts you fight, the nights you barely survive, and still, you're here. So stand, even if your legs shake. Stand, breathe, even if it hurts. Breathe, believe, even if it's quiet, even if it's broken. Because this isn't the end. Your story isn't finished. God is still writing, still shaping, still pulling something out of this pain. And what's coming isn't darkness. It's healing through scars, strength through fire, purpose through pain. A life worth fighting for. Lord, I come again. No perfect words, just what's left. I've been tired. My mind feels heavy. My heart feels off. I feel lost. Enough. You are not lost. You are not weak. What you feel is not who you are. It's the devil trying to break you. You are under attack. He doesn't come for the weak, he comes for the light. He hunts the faithful. And you carry the fire of God. That's why your mind feels like a battlefield. Those thoughts, not all of them are yours. Doubt, fear, confusion. He sends them to make you surrender, but not anymore. You see it now. You are not the problem. You are the target. And if you're the target, you are chosen to stand. So fight the right way. Not by running, not by overthinking, by going to God. When pressure rises, you pray. When your mind gets loud, you get still before Him. When fear shows up, you answer with faith, because the devil cannot stand where God is present. Stop calling yourself weak. You're being forged. Warriors don't bow to fear. They kneel to God. And that's why they rise. They bleed, but they don't break. So if the enemy wants war, then war is what he gets. Because your faith is your weapon, and God stands with you. Stand up! Right now, reject every lie. Step out of confusion into clarity. Out of fear into authority. Pray. Even when you don't feel it, call on God. Even when He feels distant, that's where your strength comes from. Listen carefully. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not without purpose. You are being prepared. This is not your end.
This is your formation. Stand.
You hear me? You matter. Not because they chose you, not because you proved yourself. You matter because God chose you. Right now, as you are, with every flaw, the pressure you carry, the quiet need to make them proud, the sacrifices you make just to keep the peace. You kept going, you kept giving, even when it was wearing you down inside. But you were not created to live someone else's life and forget your own. Honor does not mean losing yourself. Love does not ask you to disappear. You can care deeply and still choose yourself, because their approval was never meant to define you. And maybe this is the truth. You have been treating yourself like an option, waiting, shrinking, hoping one day you will finally be chosen. But you already were, by God. So why are you still in places where you feel unseen? You are not an option. If they only reach for you when it is convenient, they were never meant for your next season. And I know, letting go hurts, but so does staying where you are not valued. So if God is removing you from certain spaces, let Him. Because what feels like rejection can be protection. You only get this life once. Do not spend it abandoning yourself just to be accepted by others. Stand in truth, walk in who you are, walk like someone who knows. You are always enough, because God made you that way. And never again treat yourself like something optional. The world is a little better because you exist. You prayed for this. You called to serve God, not this world. You called for strength, not comfort. You called to be set apart. So why are you shocked when the battlefield starts stripping you bare? Look at you. That fear in your chest, that pressure, that tightening. You think you're losing ground, you're not. God is pulling down everything that was never meant to stand. This is not your ruin, this is your forging. You asked for strength. Strength is not born in ease. It is forged when the ground shakes, and you are forced to hold your line anyway. So what did you expect? A soft road? A life handed to you? No. You were made to march with God. And when you march with God, everything that tries to replace Him gets driven out. Everything. What you're afraid of losing right now, it was never your stronghold. It was your chain. Now it's breaking, because where you're going, it cannot follow. So stop calling this loss. This is battle. Stop calling this punishment. This is training. Plant your feet, hold your breath steady, stand your ground, and trust Him. You are not losing your life. You are losing what was keeping you weak. And hear this clearly. If you do not retreat, if you do not reach for what's being taken, you will become unbreakable. Unbreakable. Under pressure. Unbreakable. Without the world. Unbreakable. When everything falls, you prayed for this.
Now march like it. March like a warrior who belongs to God. March like one who cannot be shaken. March like God is at your side.
Lord, I woke up this morning before my eyes were fully open. My day had already begun without you, not on purpose, not with rebellion, just quietly. A thought here, a plan there, a list forming in my mind as if I was in control of something so fragile. And I didn't even notice. I remembered yesterday's insults, planned today's responses, prepared tomorrow's moves. But didn't think for a second that I'm living on borrowed time. I stepped into the day like it belonged to me, like the breath in my chest was guaranteed, like I could carry it all on my own. And somehow, hours passed. Conversations, decisions, moments I moved through without once stopping to say, Lord, are you here with me? But you were there in the things that didn't go wrong, in the past that quietly opened, in the small protections I never saw. You stayed close while I moved far in my attention. And you didn't interrupt me. You didn't force me back. You just stayed. Like a father watching his child walk ahead, not to leave them, but to be ready the moment they turn around.